It is December 24th, 2020, and I just captured the license plates of all third parties that are in relevant position in the immediate vicinity of my location at B and G Plaza. I'm going to go over P.O.C, but let me get the rest of these plates real quick. Thomas Pham 4EV, that's TFAM 4EV. 8 Mary Apple Frank 571. 6 Thomas Open Robert 018. 8 Larry Judy Uncle 805. This is a Georgia plate. Charlie Mary Victor 3328. 8 Larry Robert David 613. 5 Karen Paul Zebra 010. 7 Mary Henry Sam 624. Plane flying right over. 2 planes. They're literally swarming in the sky, flying over this plaza, flying over transit where I'm walking right now, flying directly over the plaza where I'm in the plaza. The planes are targeting their flight directly over me, and third parties are using their vehicles, loitering at the bus stop. Omnitrans engaged in P.O.C as well. Ontario police crossing path. The fire station sounding their sirens at the corner in relevant position as they turn the corner, creating ongoing activity while the state is repeatedly flying directly over the plaza at low elevation. This is federal group stalking and monitoring. And P.O.C inside of that venue of SCHIRO'S liquor is what you'll see on the cameras is what they are doing, and this is the in-sync group conduct, where they are literally entering the store in sync with my movements as I move position, change position inside of the venue. As they enter the store, the significance of that is as they enter the store, it creates audible activity. And so they are creating audible activity awareness of my movement. That's the stalking with activity conduct. That is the group conduct. And that is P.O.C for monitoring while I'm inside of that venue. And in addition to that, they all are all in relevant position inside of that venue. Also what you have is the state engaging in the state vicariously, because this is how a state monitors you through all the people that are around you. The state surrounds, flying over by plane, literally, hovering over the liquor store, over the plaza, while they're engaging in this in-sync presence and in-sync creation, this ongoing rhythm of audible activity and light activity. They're literally like roaches, like I described, just patrolling around. By patrolling, I mean they are all surrounding, just moving in all manner of direction like roaches, creating activity and light activity. And that is the vicarious stalking on behalf of the entity that is monitoring. And Holt Boulevard is armed with traffic cameras. And so what you have is the third parties that are using the Omnitrans bus stop, which is not for, people to park. It's red. It's for Omnitrans. It's for the bus stop. They're engaging in a blatant P.O.C because there is no traffic camera here, as though that is some victory. And this is also how you know what third parties are, and this is also how you know that they are engaging in P.O.C and calling themselves engaging in conduct that they think that they're getting away with because there's not a traffic camera right here. So after I remain seated at the bus stop, you have them engaging in repeatedly stopping at the Omnitrans bus stop in the red, stopping at the curb where it says no stopping anytime, where it's clearly a red curb, and they're just stopping in front of me while the state is amplifying the sound of the train, while the state is flying over by plane, and while the state is sounding its sirens using the red pickup truck. It's a battalion truck that turned from Sultana, driving south on Sultana and turning east onto Holt Boulevard. This is the in-sync conduct. Traffic is a constant means of activity as well. They're all crossing path and turning in and patrolling in and out of the B&G Plaza, which is packed right now. Ongoing presence, stalking presence. This is federal group stalking and monitoring in operation, and I captured every license plate inside of the venue. They are all monitoring together. And as I am sitting, let me speak to the demonic activity. This is what I mean by it. It's the identical behavioral pattern amongst a group of people who are literally sitting in their vehicles, waiting for the moment to create any manner of noise, which is how you monitor with communication devices. 7 Sam Edward Nancy 192, I believe, driving east on Holt Boulevard right now. The buildup in traffic is a means of monitoring. They stand in relevant position in their cars at the traffic light. The state is controlling the traffic lights. Understand that. This is P.O.C. And so as I sit at the bus stop, and I'm just sitting at the bus stop just taking a rest. And in the background, as I make any move, you have third parties that begin using a truck, for example, as you put it in reverse, it starts beeping, closing their car doors, slamming their car doors repeatedly in sync with my movements, sounding their car alarms, driving past, entering and exiting, keeping me surrounded with their presence and with activity. That is literally what they are doing. It is an ongoing rhythm that is in sync, occurring with simultaneity to my movement. That is monitoring conduct, and that is the behavioral pattern of everything that I've been documenting for 2 years. This is how it became obvious, because everything that I do, every move that I make, is always punctuated with some noise. And so this is a means of understanding that you're being monitored, and this by a group of people. This is how a public entity monitors you through the people all around in relevant position. This is how a public entity engages in monitoring with communication devices. And what you have are these third-party group stalkers, and understand this is demonic activity. This is why you have a whole bunch of strangers, people who probably don't even personally know each other, engaging in the identical pattern. They're acting together in this peculiar conduct. They're all doing the same peculiar conduct. That's demonic activity. They're monitoring, and they're acting in concert with the state of California that is monitoring me. Okay, and this is what's happening at B&G Plaza. And I captured the plane that you see hovering over. That's what the state has been doing the entire time since I've been here. That's another plane flying directly over the plaza. 2 planes flying in both directions. All right, that's P.O.C. So I'm going to publish this as well, and that is a sample. I mean, this parking lot, this plaza is full. This is monitoring headquarters, because this is where I'm at right now. It is currently 10:54 a.m. But understand that they're monitoring beyond this immediate environment. It's beyond the bus stop. It's beyond B&G Plaza. The state is monitoring with communication devices, and that spans a radius. They're monitoring on Holt Boulevard and Euclid Avenue. Okay, the T-Mobile store, everything that's in a corner, they're monitoring beyond that distance. I am surrounded by a constant rhythm of activity for purposes of that monitoring conduct that the state is operating that criminal system. Okay, 65997 Mary 1. Just so you understand, on the traffic cameras, that vehicle is driving east on Holt Boulevard right now, past Holt Boulevard, past Euclid and Holt traffic cameras, past the Plum and Holt traffic cameras. And so this is P.O.C., and that is the significance of all of those license plates that I just captured. They're all monitoring. They are all jointly engaged in the 3 elements of criminal monitoring. And understand, what I am describing to you is demonic activity. That's demonic activity. It is 10:55 a.m. and that is the P.O.C. December 23rd, 2020. I'm sorry, December 24th, 2020. P.O.C. is continuous. Let me get this just so you see. Another plane seconds later, flying in alignment to me, to where I am sitting, flying over the skating rink, which is directly in alignment to me right here on transit. They're all monitoring, like I said. I'm going to take a picture of this third party. She's standing in relevant position. She's in alignment. She's monitoring with the state. This is how monitoring goes. I've turned on this microphone because I want to also document the license plates that I captured at my purchase at SCHIRO'S Liquor, third-party facilitating venue, where I completed that purchase at 10:01 a.m. at 410 East Holt Boulevard. And P.O.C., I am subject to monitoring inside of that venue. And I want to get the license plates because they were engaged in monitoring inside of that store, literally entering in, creating audible activity through the door chime that sounds. And they are entering, creating that audible activity with simultaneity to my movement in the store. As I change movement, as I change position, they're engaging in entering and patrolling and around, keeping me surrounded inside of the venue with activity and with their presence. And I did capture license plates upon my exit. And I also want to document the license plate of the Ontario Police. These are license plates of P.O.C. 7 Thomas 03230, 83816 George 2, 7 Robert Karen Jack 581, 5 Henry 0 Daniel 387, 5 Mary Bob Wendy 237, 5 Uncle Xavier Henry 083, 8 Thomas Karen Victor 961, 7 Edward Yogurt Nancy 463, 4 Thomas 08301, 7 Robert 0 Edward 322, and there also is, let's see, 5 Zebra Uncle Henry 336, and there was a large Altadena truck inside of the B&G Plaza that was facing transit on camera. inside of the plaza, and I did reference the cameras as well, engaging in monitoring conduct, present in relevant position, using the truck, just making slamming noises, which is the stalking with activity conduct, that's monitoring conduct, as I am walking up to the venue, and as I am exiting the venue, and I begin documenting the Altadena truck exits the B&G Plaza parking lot, driving onto Transit, driving driving west on Transit, and then turning north onto Plum Avenue, and then turning east onto Holt Boulevard, where that truck is seen on the traffic cameras at Plum and Holt, and at Euclid Avenue and Holt, engaging in monitoring conduct. Okay, that is P.O.C. that third party was engaged in, using that Altadena truck to do so while I was at SCHIRO'S Liquor. Ontario Police, crossing path, acting with the state, monitoring with all these third parties that are in my immediate environment. Ontario Police license plate 1532793, and the state is continuously flying directly over this plaza where I am. As I am writing down the license plate of the Ontario Police Department vehicle, another plane flies directly over the parking lot. Just to be clear with regard to the fact that it is the pattern of conduct for monitoring and group stalking by that state. It is currently 10:59 a.m. and that is the P.O.C. License plate 08322K2 875K75 7YRS059 AV70L71. Again, let me repeat that. AV70L71. And I have VIN number 1GCEK14T5YZ369485. And based on my pattern of note taking, AV70L71 is a paper plate, and I went on ahead and wrote down the VIN number on that paper license plate. The people of the state of California engaged in, literally, it looks like white construction paper. You can literally put it on like size font 80. It is very unofficial. It looks very, very much unofficial. It looks like white construction paper. And based on the criminal system that I'm documenting, and based on the nature of the crime, it is very much a means of concealing the actual license plates. They're seen on not cars. They are not seen on cars that are brand new. For example, that would be a guise under which you're saying, "Oh, I don't have a license plate because the car is brand new, it's off the lot." So I've did this white construction paper, which literally looks like you can print it off on your printer and literally just attach it to your vehicle. Has also been seen on cars that are dirt old. Okay, and it is a means of not revealing what is the license plate for that vehicle. I just want to be clear. That is what I've documented here. This is a paper plate, and so I went on ahead and also documented the VIN number, but I just want to speak to a pattern. And I want to also speak to the fact that since I began specifically the podcasting aspect of my publishing license plates, paper license plates became ubiquitous, all right, in the same manner that the Ontario police stalking at every corner, everywhere that I go, are ubiquitous. Paper license plates became like everywhere as I began publishing more and more license plates. I just want to speak to that. But with regard to, irrespective of that, like I said, this is one aspect, this is one tactic, if you will, of documentation, all right, and publishing documentation and exposing where a government is monitoring an American citizen. This is one way that you can do so. And I am demonstrating how that can easily be done by the ordinary targeted individual. And this is also in no way going to be a mystery who is who and where they are and the criminal conduct that they are engaged in, which is monitoring. And so this is much of this is futile on the part of the entity that has never been documented by an American citizen. This is an entity that is very much woefully unprepared for that prosecution, which is inevitable, which is that which is in no way prepared for. There is no argument whatsoever. And so this is speaking to all of the tactics as I just identify because I'm so familiarized with it, and even the the false notion, right, of superiority, and that has already been trumped. All right, there is no notion of superiority anymore. You literally have an entity that is merely engaging in ongoing criminal conduct that it knows is already been exposed, and it shall pay the price for a price that it cannot afford to pay. But it is necessary. This is not just about Erica Lorraine Spencer. Erica Lorraine Spencer is providing, and I'm speaking about myself because I'm speaking to my advocating on behalf of the target individual. Okay, so this is not about myself. I am Erica Lorraine Spencer. This is not about me per se. It is about me because I remain subject to a crime by a government, all right, which is no longer, it is no longer able to be denied, okay, and acting as though it doesn't exist, or I'm unsure, I don't know, I've never heard of it. Okay, that's a farce, all right, and intentionally maintained as a farce, all right. That is the pattern of conduct, actually. That does not exist anymore. That is not in any way even a reasonable argument whatsoever. It's not even an argument. That is nothing but audible activity out of a mouth of a facilitator, all right, a third-party group stalker, or a state facilitator, a group stalker that is acting directly on behalf of the state, all right. The government is engaged in monitoring. This is how I am showing how the government monitors, and I am also showing, most importantly, how that is in no way impervious to being exposed and prosecuted. And SIIS federal legislation serves to empower the American citizen with the ability to prosecute, because the government is not going to in any way support your constitutional right or honor that constitutional right. You're engaged in monitoring. That is the utmost demonstration of the absolute disregard of your constitutional rights, all right? The government is an absolute hypocrite, all right? It is engaged in what is demonic and criminal conduct, all right? It's not just criminal. You're talking about that which is satanic. This has great implications for the state of the country. Whether you want to address that aspect of it, again, that's merely context. It is very vital context. But again, all right, for purposes of prosecution in the form of what is a court of law based on objective evidence, you can very much disregard that. But for those who have an ear to hear, understand this has great implications for the state of this country, for the government, and for that which is an inevitable fate. All right, this is demonic. What the government is engaged in, what the people of the state of California, which is showing what the people are engaged in. Period. What California is doing, what I am documenting, what I am prosecuting, is a template, is an example of what is going on in this country. Understand, I am one who has been monitored for years. I have traveled outside of the country. The government did not stop monitoring me when I flew to Europe, when I went to France, when I went to London. I was being monitored. All right. So this is what I'm saying. I have provided an example of what the government is engaged in. There is no way whatsoever what I am documenting was in any way stopped because I got on an airplane and I went to a different country. I was being monitored still. All right. I've flown to different states in the United States. I've flown out of the country. I traveled abroad. I lived outside of the country before. I have been monitored for years, and the government did not stop. All right. It is unreasonable to posit. This is speaking to what the government is engaged in, and it is not only criminal, it is that which is demonic. All right. And that does have implications for this country and for where it is headed and for what is coming. All right. I'm not going to go into any sort of forecast. That is not my duty. That's not even my interest. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to reduce what is the substance of what the government is engaged in, and not as far as the elements for monitoring, but as far as the entity, that dark spiritual entity that is operating over this government, that is operating over the people of the state of California. It's absolutely from the pit of hell. And this is that which is exercised over the people. All right. That for those who have an ear to hear, that is very real. All right. That is very, very real. And it is being exposed for such a time as this for a purpose for those to hear who will hear. That's what you need to hear. That's what needs to be understood. Okay. So with regard to the documentation of the public entity, it is speaking to what is systematic monitoring at all places and at all times. And so the ongoing criminal conduct is that which is in no way it's not there. The entity is not ever taking a pause. I've shown that by the behavioral pattern. I've shown that by the pattern of conduct. I've shown that as I isolate P.O.C. for purposes of understanding what the entity is doing everywhere. All right. So you can look at the behavior, you can look at the elements and apply it to anywhere that you are at. It does not matter whether you are homeless, whether you are in your home, whether you are in another person's home, whether you are in a public place of business, whether you are in an institution, whether you are confined in a jail, for example. The government is monitoring at all times, all right? And so this is in no way hindered by your location or wherever you are at, and I have demonstrated that by my documentation. And based on the nature of that crime, like I said, I'm going to go back to my original point. The people of the state of California, that is the entity where the government is monitoring you. It's monitoring you with the people of that state. That is the system. So this is not about me reaching and trying to show you the connection between the people and the state. The documentation shows that inherent connection. You need to understand the system of monitoring. Where there is a monitoring system in play, it is that which is occurring in concert with the people who incorporate that state. That's what that is, period. I have literally given just the example of how you see that over and over and over again. You see that? That's what I'm pointing out to you. I'm merely pointing it out. And it does not matter really what you're looking at are different kinds of venues. And you're getting past the labels. You're getting past the outer guise but under which criminal monitoring is going. Whether it calls itself a church, understand it's not the genuine church. It is nothing but an organization engaged in criminal conduct, which is satanic at its root. Okay? All right, it is P.O.C. So as I was stating, this is a paper plate aware of the fact that I'm documenting this criminal conduct, and that's not a coincidence. That's my underlying point. The fact that paper plates became ubiquitous the more and more that I published and documented license plates of third parties. And so this is that VIN number, and so that's why I incorporated that. But like I said, the prosecution, at federal prosecution, there is no avoiding there is no avoiding being identified or where you were located or what you were doing. It's already established what you are doing. The state's pattern of conduct is already established. Okay, you are not focused on an individual. You're focused on the entity. The entity is stalking you directly and vicariously. Everyone you document in relevant position, engaging in any activity creation, light activity creation, or present while the entity is creating that is engaged in the pattern of conduct. Period. That is prosecution at its base. That's period. So anyway, the next license plate is 8RZZ970. All right, license plate 8MAF571 760X684 8JSV935 8TDB581 5WRS494 7HYJ387 141070. That's Omnitrans. 8LDH582 7CUH595 6TLE682 8JIM499 6H76349 1535619. That's Omnitrans. 6NPW544. This is Ontario Police, license 1462880. 8JJB678. 7G93513. 7W09334. Ontario Police, vehicle number 1848. License 7ERW959. That's a third-party license, not the Ontario Police license. For Ontario Police, again, I have vehicle number 1848. Okay. Next license plate is 8GDP706, 7UNF813, 7KPZ400, 8EGV714. 8KAW808, 8RDM941, 7YSC179, 82685Z2, 8970130, 3JUT813, 5RRV616, 4ZXN314, 8EFF535. This is FedEx 14891K1, Omnitrans 1545686, 6HSE324, 7GMP699, 8ESD887, 8SUN452, 8HRM448. This is AMR ambulance. This is the state acting directly via emergency vehicle 70431V2. Right, 5WAK550, 5MZW575, 5EUM843, 7XJP485, 81993U1, 7ELD466, 6RXZ995, 1576661, that's Ontario Police, 6TON275, 5MTS537, 6TDM107, and I have AMR ambulance again. I don't have any license here, but I'm noting the AMR, they're likely I'm documenting what is them crossing paths with lights and sirens, and I don't see their license plate, but their vehicle is readily identified, just like every other commercial, such as Omnitrans or FedEx or Amazon Prime or USPS, readily identifiable, especially as they are stalking with sirens and lights in relevant position. All right, license plate 8RQE385, 7EIU727, 4SJM432, 8TE2955, 7FKF380, 8AWL492, 8LUJ906, 75831L1, 7EIJ378, 8A1Y317, 5ZTE260, 8PLR294, 7XIE613, 10453L1, JYJMOLD, 8SJC561, 7KQL792, 6SJG099, 7FPU550, 6SQS831, 7P85001, 3VWV672, 5TDU294, 7HMX209, 644AEL, 7MRJ793, 6TRN991, 7MRJ793, 6TSL075, 6NDN218, 7HMX209, 7YJH766, 6PZS817, 7TDG878, 632NL, that's a handicap plate, 8RIL526, 32922E1, 8ETY458, 8FAB698, 6ABS569, 6CED695, 8KPL507, 8KTV911, 6JGV821, 6TEF050, 7P85001, 4WOR972, 7AAK284, 32026C1, 5NCG854, 4924722, 5MPR413. Let's see, I have a license. 7SHK511, 7B1R135, or BIR, but I believe it's 1R. 7B1R135, 7DXE643, 8LYT037, MRTAD2U, 8JGY199, 1545683. That's Omnitrans. 7ZXX033, 8JJD623, 7ZPL025, 8KLR553, 6Y75262, 6FBN701, 6YTM465, 8CZS853, 17547T1, 8RKF599, 5VNC026, 8MPL931, 7GVY294, 8EFP567, 6YTE668, 8SMS616, 7TQP343, 8AQX354, 5RZA106, 8HBA428, 6WWM012, BLKBOWS, 7TLW279, BH23P57, 6MIA488, 7TXP618, 8NRN920, 8MAF571, 5AOP649, 8DUG049, 8JUV254. This is Omnitrans 1545833, 8BPZZ88, 7CNK348. All right, and that is P.O.C. And this portion was documented from December 24th to December 27th, 2020.